Brennan, so I just thought I would do a video looking into what United's squad is going to look at next season, how it's going to line up, maybe what is our first choice, what the rest of the squad kind of looks like. And I've put this together and I've gone, 25 players. Now, you're probably going to need a little bit more than that, so I expect probably a couple more youth players to get promoted into this. I'll get into it. So we're expecting the same sort of players to leave, I imagine. Jadon Sancho, Mason Greenwood, Casemiro, Varane, Donny van de Beek. Pretty much the bulk of the players to go, I would think. Because I just don't think there's, and Lindelof too, I just don't think there's enough in the squad that you can just go like, you lot, out you go. I think like Jim Ratcliffe's already kind of said, it's going to take us several windows. But let's go through it anyway and let's go. So, Onana, first choice goalkeeper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build my 11, and as we go through the team, I'll sort of talk about some of the other options that we have in those kind of positions as well. But in net, number 1, Onana. Bayindir as backup, probably Tom Heaton as number 3. Any issues with that? Me either, right? No, that's very, very easy position. I'm happy with Onana. Move on to the next position where things don't look as rosy, actually. Now, I think our first choice, back 4, if we sign the 4 players that we are rumoured to be signing, Doue, right back, backup options, not many. Wan-Bissaka as your backup option, and then you're looking at a push. Could Willy Kambala play there? That's it, really. There isn't really a lot of other options there. And I think you can probably still improve on Doue. I think Dou's not a problem player and not a weakness, but I think you can probably raise the ceiling with him. But it's not a priority. Centre-halves. Ligt, I think he'll be first choice. Martinez, I think he'll be first choice. I think that's a good, very, very good Premier League level defence. Back up to them, Ligt, Yoro. Coming in when one of those is injured, because both of them get injuries, he will play. Outside of that, Willy Kambala, Harry Maguire, and maybe Johnny Evans. Do you know what he's doing next year? I don't know what he's doing next year. And then left back, not a lot here. Shaw, which, if he's fit, great, yeah, cool. He's not always fit though, is he? Let's be real with ourselves. At what point have you been able to just go, don't worry about Shaw, he'll be fit? It doesn't happen. Malacia, remember him? As backup, which is why I think Harry Amas is probably going to find himself within this squad as the season goes. So that's the defensive unit. What do I think about the defensive unit? Injuries is the weakness. You're talking 3 out of your starting 4. Love an injury appointment. That's a problem for us. Then you're talking, right, what have we got coming through behind that? Your right back backup is a completely different style of player, which means that he can't do the things that you want the rest of the team to do. That's a problem. He can fill in at left side centre, left back, but he's going to be as dysfunctional as he is on the right, because he can't do the things that you're asking him to do, but he can defend. Which is why I think he'll stick around, unless they get a real big offer for him. Amas is a little bit of an unknown quantity when it comes to men's football. It shows a lot of promise. Promise and deliverance are probably not even related. And Malacia is a complete unknown at this stage with the injuries that he's had. So defence, if I was scoring the defence, I think it's like a 6 out of 10. The starting 11, first choice, and maybe 1 or 2 of the backups show a lot of real potential, but this is not stacked. It's got to be at most 6 out of 10. Midfield, okay. We all know Mainoo's the greatest midfielder that's ever lived. That's fine. Who's going to play alongside him? I think we're going to get Ugarte. I really do. And I think that's not a bad option. And as well as Ugarte, I could genuinely see United going for Rabiot being a good option, especially on a free, and take the bullet with his wages a little bit. Because if it's those two, if it's Ugarte and Mainoo, after that you go Eriksen, maybe, because he's got another year. McTominay, probably one of your sellable assets. Do you really want to keep him around because he does not fit the system and you're literally just keeping him around because you're keeping him around? Outside that, you're looking at what, Hannibal? The boy can play. There's question marks over his attitude, but the boy can absolutely play football. Mason Mount, obviously, yeah, I think he'll be involved quite heavily next season, providing he's fit. Are you looking at Dan Gore coming through then? might be asking a bit too much of Dango just yet. Maybe he comes in and fills in a little bit, but it might be a little bit too much for Dango. And then Bruno, obviously. So you start in 3, Ugarte, Mainoo, Bruno. Ugarte, Mainoo, Bruno. Pretty good. Pretty good. The backups comes off a cliff. And we've seen you get a few injuries and you're in shit street. Is McTominay even going to stick around? Eriksen, Hannibal, Mount, go. It's not enough, is it? I don't think I can give the midfield more than a 5 out of 10. It's lacking, isn't it? You see, there's even a bit of a question mark about the starting quality a little bit. And then the forwards. So you assume Greenwood has gone. I don't think you're getting rid of Anthony. I think you might like to get rid of Anthony, but I don't think they're going to be able to find a suitable buyer for him in this window. I think Greenwood gets moved on. I think the signing that comes in is Zirkzee. Okay, where does that leave us? Well, your starters, Diallo, Garnacho, your backups to that, Anthony. And that's it, man. That is it. That's it. There's nobody else. That's it. And then you're looking at Zirkzee and Højlund for starting. So you've got 6 players for the forward line. Not really anything coming through the academy. The likes of Wheatley and that, just not ready yet. I think I'd give the attack even less. Because I think in midfield, Bruno, Mainoo, question mark over Ugarte if he signs and if he's of that. You know, there's a couple of players in there in Bruno and Mainoo that you go, yeah, they're playing every week, that's fine. You know, in defence, you go, well, if they're fit, Martinez and De Ligt will be sensational, so that's fine. There's still question marks over Højlund. I think there's promise and there's potential there, but he's not the finished article. Diallo, shown real promise in a couple of flashes. Hasn't done it over a consistent season. Garnacho has done it over a consistent season. Numbers aren't anywhere near world-class potential. Probably suffered a little bit of burnout from the fact he played all season, last season. But right there you've got, if you had to go overall, this Man United squad at the moment, for the levels Manchester United want to set, that's a 5 out of 10 squad. It's not there. It's not good enough. That team can't compete. That team probably still requires at least 1 winger, if not 2. At least another midfielder, if not 2. At least a fullback, if not 2. And you ain't signing 9 players that are all going to work in one window. It just isn't going to happen. So I don't want to kill the momentum so early in the pre-season, but even if we get the 4 players that we're linked with, we build a 5 out of 10 squad. Let's temper the expectations for this season, lads. Don't bother ordering any champagne. I don't think we're going to need it. Let's hope we can have a good cup run and finish inside the top 4. But other stuff's going to have to come and change quick, isn't it? My days. Let me know your thoughts on that. Do you think that that's the squad we're going to end up with come the end of the window? And how do you think it does? Where does that squad finish? See you in the next one. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, 5-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.